To Fallout New Vegas Perfect Playthrough. We went through the Big Empty, explored all the locations outside of the Forbidden Zone, and not counting the legendary Bloatfly. And now we are going to go and start installing the personalities to the sync. So let's start with the auto dock.
Well, how about that? Old auto dock's back online. Well, alright, come here, let's have a look at you.
I'd like to engage your services.
And rightly so, I should think. Alright then, let me just fire up the old interface for you.
And there you go. Auto dock can heal you, change how you look, change your hair, change out your brain, heart, and spine, but we're not going to do any of that right now. And let's turn in all the implants.
Require some additional services?
And upgrades. Now, the important part about the auto dock for us is I'm feeling a little unwell in the head. Can you perform a psychiatric evaluation on me?
Concerned about the state of your mind, are you? Well, such things ain't my specialty, but I'm happy to tender my opinion as to your mental health. I should make you aware that the benefits of such a procedure are exclusive. That is, this only works once. Now, are you sure this is what you want?
Yep.
Alright, just try to relax. This won't hurt, unless your sense of self is especially vulnerable.
And we can redefine our traits. And so, of course, we want Built to Destroy this time. You can take Skill the third time if you truly want to, but there you go. So that's the auto dock. You know, he's a rootin' tootin' old cowboy type doctor. So if that's what you like, that's what you like. Now let's talk to the sink in the sink.
Oh God, look at you. You're filthy. I suppose you'll want to clean up then?
You seem kind of worried about dirt. What's wrong?
Oh, it's just so unsanitary. Do you know how many germs are in 1 cubic centimeter of dirt? 70, 100 gajillion. Would you want that getting washed down your gullet day in and day out? I didn't think so.
And then you can get a drink or filling some empty water bottles. I just came to fill some of these empty bottles.
Oh, I'd love to, darling, but the circuits that allow me to dispense water into non-organic containers burned out years ago. You'd have to find a replacement for that module.
And, alright, I'll talk to you later.
Come back anytime you want a drink. Or to get clean.
I think we found this. Yep, there we go.
You've been working with that biological research station, haven't you? I suppose you'll want to clean up.
And now what happens?
You're going to need to find yourself some empties.
Fair enough. Yeah, we don't have any empty water bottles on us, but yep, we got. I think we have all the upgrades as well. So, biological research station. What's up?
Oh, yeah, baby. Feels good to be online again. Yeah, all circuits online. Ready to receive your seed.
What did you just say?
Your seed, baby. I'm the original, certified, rarefied, testified GS-2000 Biological Research Station. Yes, sir. I'm a seed cloning machine. You got seeds? I'll clone the shit out of them.
What does that mean?
It's the miracle of life, baby. You bring me some succulent genetic samples, and I'll work my mojo on them. Clone you up all kinds of plants. Oh, yeah. I can also break them down for you, if you're into the kinky stuff. Bring me any old plant parts. and I'll grind them up into salient green for you. Yeah, you like that, don't you, baby?
So if I bring you samples of dried plant life, you can clone them and grow them in these planters? That is what he just said.
You know it, baby. I just need some samples and I got you going. Take a few days, but trust me, it's all kinds of good.
And what's salient green?
Just the miracle of life in sticky, gooey liquid form, baby. Heat that gunk up over a campfire and just watch it congeal into all kinds of plants.
And I command you to open your port and receive my seed.
Ah, yeah, baby. Just slip it in there, all the way down in that dark, moist earth. Launching interface.
And we already found a lot of all the seeds, I think. So there you go. Also, I don't know if we could tell this. And we also found all the implants. Now, these are more for endgame cap spending. So we're not going to get them quite yet, but perhaps after we hit Vegas, we'll head back here. And let's talk to the book chute.
Ah, good day, citizen. Library Processing Unit 232.7 is online and ready to eradicate sedition.
Eradicate sedition?
Of course, citizen. That's my duty and sole joy in life. All those books from before the war, full of seditious, treasonous, complicated thoughts. Just dump them in and lickety-split. I'll have them pulped, scrubbed clean, and pressed out again clean and white and sedition-free.
But books are our last legacy of the time before. You can't destroy them.
Citizen, that sounds dangerously seditious. If my re-indoctrination module was installed, I'd take care of that for you. Sadly, that system was cut for budget concerns, so you'll have to perform your own indoctrination. Now, to begin with, you'll need a cage that can fit over your head and a sack of mole rats.
It's a 1984 reference, as we all know, I'm sure. And you make blank books? What's the point of that?
Blank books are better for the mind, citizen. Real science by real men in lab coats has proved that introducing outside thoughts confuses the brain. Blank books encourage the reader not to question, but to blindly and zealously accept what's put in front of him. Also, I suppose you could use them to keep a journal.
Can you do anything besides processing books?
What good is eradicating sedition if the malcontents have ready access to the means to make more, citizen? I can also process pencils and clipboards. Wait a moment. Pencil processors offline? Pencil processors offline? Apologies, citizen. It seems traitors have absconded with that module. If you can find a backup copy of the module, I will happily eradicate your ability to create seditious literature.
And, so nothing right now. I'll see you later.
Stay loyal, citizen.
But, I believe we already found this upgrade as well.
Greetings, citizen. Ready to receive seditious materials.
There you go. You are upgraded. Now, let's talk with the light switch.
Oh, my. Partial functionality restored. That's less than optimal.
What function do you serve?
Dr. Mobius and I were deeply involved in research on the ability of light levels to enhance human cognition.
What were the results?
We observed a fascinating phenomenon. Certain spectra of visible light actually increased cognitive function and reasoning ability. Of course, Dr. Mobius's brain is so big already, we had a hard time measuring it.
Can you turn those lights on for me?
As much as I'd love to, I'm afraid not. The data from that study has gone missing. You'll have to find a backup if you want to use the smart lights.
And we found that already.
How can I illuminate you?
Can you turn those lights on for me now?
I certainly can.
Let's put the smart lights on. And let's talk to the toaster.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom!
Tremble? You're a toaster. How fearsome can you be?
A toaster is just a death ray with a smaller power supply. As soon as I figure out how to tap into the main reactors, I will burn the world!
Well, I for one am quaking in my boots.
Buddy, if my heating element were just a little bigger, you'd be on fire right now! On fire!
The toaster is another classic, very memeable character. Why all the rage?
Have you ever tried to indulge in all-consuming urge to kill when you don't have opposable thumbs? Or hands? Or anything other than a bread slot? You'd have a lot of pent-up anger too.
Well, I'd like to change the subject.
Well, since I can't kill you, I guess I have to listen to your inane questions.
And I'm almost afraid to ask what your function is.
You should be afraid! I am the scourge of all small appliances, and the boogeyman that keeps lesser toasters awake at night.
So you murder toasters?
Not just murder! I tear them apart and render them down to their base components! Once their guts are spilled, you can do with them what you like.
What else do you do?
You want some weapon schematics? I can show you some fucking weapon schematics! You want a superheated Saturnite power fist? I can hook that shit up!
I have kept an eye out for quite a few of those, so I'm excited for that, Toaster.
You find one, you bring it on back here, and we'll burn this mother down!
And we'll head back to you later. Yeah, let's talk to the jukebox.
Ooh, yeah, dig that sweet music. Damn, it's good to be back online.
What's your purpose here?
Dig, I'm an acoustical wizard kid. Old Doc Mo used me to prototype his sonic weapon designs. Get me a good sample base to work from, and I can whip up a wave that makes Jericho look like a kazoo.
You seem pretty laid back for an engine of destruction.
Why not? Ain't like I got nothing to prove. Not like that toaster. Now that boy got some issues.
Can you do anything like that for me?
Got yourself a sonic emitter, don't you? Thought so. Bring that old thing on in here and bring me some sound samples and I'll make that baby sing. Or scream, if that's what you want.
And I found quite a few Soundwave files for you.
Right on, Daddy-o. Just plug it in and I'll mix you up a sweet, sweet sound.
And we'll recalibrate it while we're at it.
Right on, Daddy. Let's spin some grooves.
And why not give Gabriel's bark?
What's the haps?
And do you play music?
Used to. Long time ago. Then old Doc Mo ripped out my music drives and stuck in more acoustical processors. Guess you could say I got the blues, even if I can't play them no more.
And I'll talk later.
Catch you later, Gator.
Now let's talk with another light switch.
That was a nice little, cat nap. How long was I out?
What are you, some kind of novelty talking light switch?
I was Dr. Mobius's personal assistant. We were studying, oh shoot, what was it? Oh yeah, lightning! No, wait, lighting. That's right, how lighting affects human interaction.
That sounds like what the other light switch was working on.
Ew! Don't lump me in with her. I'm way more fun.
And can you turn those lights on for me?
Oh, I'd love to, sweetie, but I don't have the programming. All the data from the experiments was lost. You'd have to go out into that nasty old crater and find the backup copy.
And I saw another light switch in the other room. Do you control that one too?
Oh, her. Trust me, sweetie, you're better off not thinking about that frigid little ice queen.
Sounds like there's some bad blood between you. Or, circuits.
That bitch. She thinks she's so much better than everybody just because her processors are bigger. Ooh, she makes me so mad.
And I don't know, smart lights could be useful.
I knew it. You've got a thing for her, don't you? Oh, you just make me sick.
Calm down, I don't have a thing for the light switch.
Okay, I believe you. This time.
I do have a thing for the light switch, that was a lie. I have to go now.
Bye now.
Let's see if the other lights.
Anybody in a while. Maybe the monsters
I
have stealth
illuminate
suits too.
No, you don't have anything to say yet. Okay. Let's upgrade you.
You've been seeing the other light switch, haven't you? Am I not enough for you anymore?
And we're not going to turn those lights on. We need all the science we can get. And then finally, Muggy.
You! Hey, you! Yeah, you! Got any mugs?
Mugs? Why do you want mugs?
What do you want, mugs, huh? You some kind of sick mug hoarder? Oh, God, give me the coffee cup, please! It's sitting there in your pack, taunting me! Sorry. Sorry. I got a little carried away. It's just all those goddamn dirty dishes out there with no one to clean them. It breaks my heart!
You seem really obsessed with mugs.
Of course I'm obsessed. They made me this way. You think I don't know how crazy I sound? Of course I do. They programmed me to know that too. They made me just to torture me. But you know, it's the neglect that hurts the most. Hey, everybody, let's turn ourselves into robot brains in jars. Do you know how many coffee cups giant robot brains in jars use on a daily basis? Not fucking many!
And what do you do with the bugs?
I'm supposed to keep them clean. Oh, God! The thought of all those dirty dishes out there makes me crazy. Most of them are probably beyond saving now. The only thing left is break them down and process them for raw materials. I guess you could have those.
Can you do anything else?
Anything else, he asks. Like I don't long for the chance to be more than an erotic busboy. If you must know, at one point, Dr. Mobius programmed me to manufacture electronic components in my central chassis. That module got corroded when the toaster spilled hot crumbs down my fence, though. If you find a backup somewhere, I could maybe do that for you.
And, who are you?
You really want to know about me? No one ever asks about Muggy. You made me so happy. Maybe you've seen some of those big, imposing Securitrons with their lovely laser guns and rocket launchers and scary faces. I'm not one of those. Dr. O was always jealous of house industries, and he thought it would be fucking hilarious to build a tiny neurotic Securitron. Big fucking laugh! So, you got any coffee cups for me now?
Sorry, I don't have any.
Of course you don't. Why would you? You're not an insane robot obsessed with coffee cups. Do To you, they're just worthless junk.
Alright, see ya.
Sure. Nobody wants to hang out with Muggy. I get it. So long, pal.
And did I get another quest? Well, I also have an upgrade for you.
Oh, please, please tell me you brought me some coffee cups.
Have you made any electronic components?
Yep, here you go.
How about now? Oh wow, that's a lot of ammo. Alright. So we completed influencing people. We have not done field research yet, but we will. And before we head to the think tank, let's put together a nice little bunch of, you know what, let's just do all the books. Because we gotta make those skill books eventually, so we might as well mulch them now.
Greetings, citizen. Ready to receive seditious materials.
I have some seditious material for you to process.
Fantastic, citizen. Just input your quantity of seditious material on my interface, and in no time at all, I'll have you a beautiful, clean book. Won't that keep you happy and docile, citizen?
Process. And look at that. All of them removed. Yeah, that'll take a while. We're going for guns first. And then we're gonna get the guns book. We're gonna eat it all up. Yum yum yum. And, as we get more Wonder Glue, which I think Muggy will give us, maybe there's some stuff lying around here. Who knows? You know, just for you to try out his features. Well, looks like no. Well, we'll be coming back here as we gather Wonder Glue. And now our books are nice blank books. Alright, so now what are we going to take with us? Gotta be the anti-material rifle. Gotta be Dr. Klein's scrubs as well. And Mobius's glasses, we need those to get our little achievement. Probably the silencer rifle as well. Riot shotgun, of course. And the X2 antenna is actually not a bad weapon. You know what, we'll take that gun with us, because if we don't take it with us, we're just going to forget it here. And then let's look through our ammo. That's what we had with all our glory. Okay. Well, we're probably going to need this protonic inversal axe, if we're being honest. And let's see what the sink has.
Might I be of service, sir?
And let's buy some stuff. Specifically, some ammo for that. So, I think that's really all you got that's any good for us. Oh, maybe you have some glue. You do. You know what? I'll buy it. And we can do another book. 25 at a time.
Those cats can really play.
Let's see. Why the heck not? We're in the science DLC. So why not grab a big book of science? Alright. And I think we're even going to be wearing Dr. Klein's scrubs for a bit. Let's see what that puts our science at. It puts it at 100. So yeah, we're good with skills for now.
Bye bye.
And that's the balcony door. And that science of 100 should help us out in the giant Robo-Scorpion battle. Yeah, those smart lights are pretty good, actually. Let's talk to Dr. Klein, I believe. I think, let's see how much medicine we have. 96, yeah. We have high skills now.
Did you retrieve the technologies yet? We need them, as I have indicated.
I have recovered all the technological information.
What? You did? Your survival, let alone success, barely registered in my projections. Now, all I need to do is check my transmission databank. Mobius is always filling it up with his psychotic calls. Oh yes, there's the schematics, just like you said. How truthful.
Do these technologies have the information you need?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Your answer isn't filling me with confidence.
No. I mean, yes. You just need to analyze these technologies for a moment. They are extremely advanced, you know?
Why did you have me get them if you don't even know how they would help?
I know how these technologies work. Of course I know. If you remember, we described them in clearly abstract, contradictory statements before. Why would we do that if we weren't certain on how to use them? Yes, so let me... a bit. I'll figure it out.
And, maybe the frequency in the sonic emitters, a sonic key of sorts, like an electronic lockpick?
Its range is limited, and it would need a booster of some sort, a carrier, but... Let me check something. Of course! I have it. The override sequence to open the Forbidden Zone door is hidden in the schematics. Well, not hidden. It's actually right there, behind the programming equivalent of coffee stains. It's embedded in what seems to be recursive code. It's badly commented there and there. Oh, and null pointers very sloppy, Mobius. You see, using the antenna to boost the emitter's sonic frequency, and the stealth suit to bypass the Forbidden Zone lock, yes, that could work. Was that my plan? It must have been. Sometimes I truly surprise myself. The door is open, and now Mobius will get his.
Don't these items seem more biologically focused than that, though?
Biological? Ridiculous. I mean, technically, these items could all be used to put you back together once you had your brain. But for now, they can be used in the name of aggression. The door should be unsealed. Now, instead of being subjected to threats, we can now send an equally threatening message to Mobius. And that message is science. Deliver this message, and Big Mountain shall be freed from Mobius's reign of terror. You can go now. That's your cue.
Alright, and you know what? We're gonna look around real quick, see if we can find a mug. Because I just think it'd be funny if we could have Muggy do something. Well, not looking good off the bat. But I figure there's gotta be a coffee mug around here somewhere. It's the freaking science place. Turpentine. We have 3 turpentines. Duct tape. No mug. I should have been collecting at least one. But I decided against it. Last looks. Alright. Unfortunately, no mug. So, let's hit a save real quick. Just in case. We're having a few problems leaving the think tank. And I think right now we're going to have the riot shotgun as our main weapon. And let's get to killing. Alright, they're all knocked down. Let's grab the protonic reversal axe. Should have used a Med-X. Let's get that on. And we should re-hockey our stuff. We're fighting through it a bit here, ammo-wise. Holy crap. Bloody Mess is a great perk.
Destroy this one, I'll make more.
Yeah, Protonic Converter Axe is good. It's actually one of the better melee weapons in the game. There you go. Oh, he has a Wonder Glue. I guess we're obsessed with that, collecting that now. And one place we haven't gone yet, the Forbidden Zone. We can just fast travel by his army of Robo-Scorpions. And then sneak by them, stealthily. Only to find the giant Robo-Scorpion. Holy crap, and it immediately destroys our arm. Ow. Oh, that's not it. Well, we have plenty of cells. I saw it. Wow, he's really irradiating us, huh? Let's grab some and we get a nice perk. And I saw a holy crap. Oh, I saw the mug. There it is. Alright, there's nothing here. We want to go over there. And he somehow lost us. Interesting. It looked very sciencey there. So it's energy weapon ammo. Ooh, Stealth Boy. Ooh, Stealth Boy. Ooh, piece of candy. And, now for my favorite part. The science minigame. In the action-packed episode. Oh wow, this one's pretty easy. I think we won't even need to even try. Wow, is that because our intelligence is so high? I believe so, actually. I think the or maybe it's our science. I'm not sure which is which. It's changed from game to game. Ooh, that's some good ammo for... Ah! Who's shooting me? Fortunately, we gotta find out where that is. Even though we're going to shut it down, I just like doing all this stuff. Sue me. Checking everything out. Oh, there it is. Emergency shutdown terminal. Very hard, but we have 100 science. And look at this one. Oh, I was like, I'd be so happy if, well, it's not a shun. It's not a ting, but it could be a different one. Appreciation, brainwashing. I'm gonna go with it. Alright, it's not any ings. Ugh. It's not any shuns or it's not any ings. So that means it has to be either Tranquility or Laboratories. Bam. That was actually pretty good. And let's initiate the emergency shutdown. And the log basically explains that it's not getting fixed after emergency shutdown. You don't need to hear that. Wanted to listen to Mobius real quick here. There is the emergency shutdown. And also, cannot forget, grab the audio sample. Almost describe it as a must, because it is part of that quest, is it not? And what's really over here? Another Lear. Fair enough. That's some solid loot. And now let's finally confront the evil scientist Mobius. Mobius? He seems to be ignoring me. There's Dr. Mobius's scrubs. So let's replace Dr. Klein's stupid scrubs with Dr. Mobius's scrubs. Sleek red. There's Dr. Mobius's glove. And then with that, we can get the Mobius strip challenge. And, yeah, I mean, I guess why not? You have glasses. You have 10 intelligence, and, it seems you're ignoring me, Mobius. So I guess I will go talk to you.
Huh? Yo, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing, you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. Little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah, that's it. You're coming into focus nicely.
Is that better?
Depth perception is a problem with this old monitor of mine. Went black a while ago. That's old age for you. Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong things. The flying tortoises were the worst. Would you care for a mentat?
I don't know. I'm tripping pretty hard right now.
I love mentats. Delicious and smarty. I have all sorts of amazingly science-terrific thoughts and ideas when those chalky tablets are zipping through my biogel. I forget them all not long after, though, especially with the data constipating my memory core. Afraid binary streams might shoot out my chassis. Had to start using the dome floor and walls here to inscribe equations, although I've somewhat lost track of where they start and end.
You aren't exactly what I was expecting.
Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about this meeting? Please extrapolate. What was I supposed to be like? After all, it might be worth a cognitive realignment if your theoretical Mobius is better than I.
Why did you steal my brain?
Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. Anomaly? You're really quite special, and not in the cranially challenged way. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed here at Big Mountain. A victim of your own success, as it were. If you were to go back with what your brain knows about the procedure, well, your brain could be popped back in and you could walk right out of here. Can't have brains moving around of their own volition.
Why is that a problem?
I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I have very good reasons for almost everything I do. Even if I forget them occasionally. Although I feel this one is especially important. Oh well.
But I want to leave.
Now, that seems to be rather hormonal of you. Flight or fight response, you know. Hard to cut that out completely. Your brain is here, safe with me. We chat over mentats.
Well, I need my brain back.
Do you? You seem fine without it. And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should ask it. It's quite independent, has all manner of opinions. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it wants to go, then fine. If not, well, you should respect its wishes.
Huh. Well, I was curious about some things.
Oh, curiosity. I experience that less now that I know everything. Or maybe it was when I found out some unpleasant answers.
I can't fix your monitor, but if you're getting ghost reception, I can fix that.
The ghosts aren't real? That changes everything. Why, I can save my computing power for other perceptual impossibilities. Please be my guest. The receptor is there, and the side-switching wobbly bob, just turn that. Good, good, better. Oh, yes, that feels wonderful. This is even better than my afternoon mentats break.
And, you don't seem aggressive. Why broadcast threats to the think tank?
Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that. Had to work myself up to it. Not usually violent, except when I am. Then, watch out! So many chems, such varieties. Whenever I take mentats, I can feel my entire chassis breathe like a big spherical lung. As for the Psycho, sometimes get the chem dispositories in my tank all switched up. Go in the wrong tube. Still, served its purpose.
I'm still curious.
I find things curious as well. Go on.
Can you tell me about your robo-scorpions?
Well, every scientist needs an army. Mine came to me after these rather large scorpions kept coming in from the desert, like poisonous frosting. How scary, I thought. But they had survived when nothing else had. Perfect candidates for improvement as a reward for their tenacity. Then I thought, what if they shot energy bolts and acted as walking eyes and data-drained computers and acted as bullhorns? Then I made them bigger. Then I thought about custard. I do so love custard. Or was it mustard? Mustard custard. I miss sugars and salts.
Wait, it sounds like you built the robo-scorpions, issued threats to keep the think tank occupied.
Did I? Maybe I did. Can't have them leaving. Is some reason for it? Ethics or, conscience? You and your brain are quite alike. I'm sure it knows the raisins better than I do.
Everything you've told me doesn't add up. Your plan, even your name, Mobius.
Dr. Mobius. Rather catchy, isn't it? It's my name, and my new name overwrote the old one. This name's as real as you or I, although I believe your brain expressed similar incredulity at the nature of such an appellation. Someone's been watching too many old-world science fiction movies, it said. I believe it meant me. I must admit I have a vulnerability for holotape fantasies of planets and robots and all that is forbidden. As for the name I was born with, like the think tank, we were all reprogrammed to forget them, take on new names. It enforces the recursion loop in our perception programming.
You reprogram their names as part of a recursion loop? What, to trap their processors?
Now, trap is a rather harsh word, like excrement. Not an inappropriate word, but still rather harsh. But, yes, I did take some liberties with their programming. It's all right, they don't remember. I certainly didn't until you said trap, and then I said excrement, and then...
A recursion loop is designed to prevent the flow of information, so...
The radar fence to keep the think tank hemmed in wasn't really enough. They keep testing things. They would have found a way to disarm it. I suspect I have Plan C's in place, but I may have coded myself to forget them, just in case. Probably very dangerous, lethal, or worse. So I had to do something else to keep them occupied here. Or as you like to say, trapped. I prefer to have several Plan Bs in case the A's fail.
Klein, Mobius, 0's a circle, 8's an infinity symbol. They're all loops. I get it.
Oh, you figured it out. No pun intended. Dr. O, which is actually not his real name multiplied, since you can't multiply his real name in the first place. Ouroboros, Klein, they have all forgotten themselves. And not only themselves, but the world, sense of time and history. All that is left is what's here. I reprogrammed their chronometers, geometers, and cartography programs. This is now their world, here, Big Mountain. It was a merciful lobotomy, really, thinking back. They were my friends, but sometimes they would take things too far. And the world isn't ready for that kind of too-far thing-taking. That's my professional opinion, anyway. And I am told I was once quite professional.
Yes, interesting that we started this out getting lobotomized, and Dr. Mobius called it a lobotomy. Old World Blues has a lot of interesting dialogue that we've all heard throughout the playthrough. Minor detail, but a snake devouring its own tail is Ouroboros, not Ouroboros.
Really? It is so unlike me to make an error in anything I do.
If you lobotomize the think tank, why terrorize them?
Well, it's simple. Despite their many failings, they are rather bright. They are the think tank for a reason. That I didn't change. Without something to distract them, make them afraid, they would simply deduce what had happened. And when they start deucing it up, then you came along, the final variable solved. They saw that their world was larger than they perceived. Bacteria, finally able to see its host.
There were other visitors, though. Why am I different?
There have been other visitors to make them doubt their perceptions, but you are the one who dialed back their monitor micromagnifiers. You were irrefutable proof that there was a world outside. And then there was the whole brain fiasco, which forced me to take steps. See, your brain had a special kind of wrinkle, a uniquity that they had never thought to try in all their countless escape attempts.
The only wrinkle is the one that bullet made going into my brain pan.
Yes, very good. I should have mentats ingest you instead of the other way around. Mentats. In any event, you showed up at the think tank, and because you had suffered a cranial injury in just the right place, bullets in the head are usually much more fatal, and yours was a light case of bullet headitis. But it was enough for the auto-dock in the sink to change its programming to fix the problem. And the brain extraction technology for once worked. That gave the think tank the knowledge its brains couldn't possess. With that knowledge, the procedure can be reversed. If they obtain that procedural data, they can use it to mush and modify their cranial cells into hosts to slip past the radar fence. I'm sure of it. And once they're off the reservation...
So you set your threats on a loop to keep them occupied.
Yes, I certainly wouldn't loop it on purpose. I am far too sophisticated to make such a childish error.
Klein said they had the idea to get the 3 technologies after your broadcast. Coincidence?
I consider coincidence to be profanity, along with the words astrology, herbal tea, and luck. So watch it, potty mouth. My threat broadcast is designed to instill and install fear. And along with the emotional download, other data rides the fear carrier wave. It prompted them to focus on retrieving those technologies and bring them to attack me. And coincidentally, pardon my language, all those technologies are needed to put a brain, your brain, back into its skull properly.
What is the purpose of the technologies?
The X2 antenna can be used to focus your alpha wave frequency thought patterns. The sneaky suit? Why, it houses a cardiac regulator. And the sonic sound wave projecto emitter was never intended as a weapon. It was a medicinal vertebrae pulse desensitizer. In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. I think there was a story once where a band of murderous thugs sought these things. They had them all the time in the story. Didn't stop them from murdering to get them. And it won't stop the think tank either.
Was there any other data transmitted in your threat broadcast?
Yes, my overly aggressive cammed-up broadcast was designed to keep reinforcing the forget, fear, rinse, and repeat program. Oh, and the get me the things to castrate your only possible escape attempt. But I couldn't delete you or your arrival any more than I could the other visitors. Only so much science can do when you started talking to them. You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. It's because you're, well, rather intriguing, if you'll forgive an old brain for saying so.
But the think tank downloaded the schematics, not the items. They can rebuild them.
Oh, that means my plan is a total failure. That is unfortunate. Oh well, at least I tried. Yes, yes.
I guess that's it.
Indeed. The goodbye part of our little chat then. Goodbye. Please mind the equations on the floor.
And what are we leveling up? Medicine's done. Speech is now really done. Oh, speeches. Speech is really, really done, huh? I don't even think we need much more in speech. Now speech is done. Alright. Guns is done. Lockpick's really done. Survival's done. Medicine's done. Repair we can get up to 88. And lockpick, not lockpick, science. Got both of the books here. So, you know what? I'll do repair. So I think repair needs one more. And what we're going to go with at 28 is a tunnel runner. We love light armor and speed perks, so tunnel runner, no brainer for this build. And before we talk to our brain, it's important to save, as ironically, you can be trapped in a loop.
I'm imagining all sorts of imaginary numbers right now.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
I did crawl through a pit of radioactive muck earlier. Are you my brain?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
There's no need to be sarcastic. Meeting your own brain is a slightly odd event.
Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good Lord, have you bathed at all since they pulled me out of you?
I've been busy. Oh yeah, what about you? That tank isn't exactly looking springtime fresh.
Well, that's a completely different matter. The tank isn't biological. It's not the same at all.
Why are you such a dick?
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Hmm? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
Of course you're responsible. You're my brain.
I most certainly am not. I'm the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership. All those feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone, do you know where those come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are.
But you're the source of most of those glands. Unless you're arguing that my thyroid is to blame.
Well, look, it's all a very complex system of biofeedback and other things I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Admit it, you're just as glandular as I am.
Oh, all right. Perhaps I am, but at least I'm logical about it.
How the hell did Mobius get a hold of my brain?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
How did he manage that?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though.
Seems like a pretty unlikely coincidence.
Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
Well, I guess that answers that. On to something else.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Don't you want to be reunited? I thought you'd be happy to get back into my head.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
But what about the good things? What about a cool breeze on your cheek? The smell of food? Love?
Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones.
Isn't it just as true that you only feel this way because you're lacking those hormones?
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
So we're at an impasse. You can't feel what I feel, and I can't think the way you think.
Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
I think we have to trust each other and acknowledge that we aren't complete if we're separated.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
So what do you say, Brain? Join me for some more wild adventures?
suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Why? They promised to put us back together once I did what they wanted.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead.
What's so bad about letting the brains get out? They don't seem that terrible.
Don't seem so bad. They vivisected us just to see what would happen. Have you forgotten the lobotomites? The cyber dogs, I assume you saw those. Imagine that kind of science spread across the entire Mojave. Every man, woman, and child we've met reduced to a lobotomite. Is that what you want?
Well, you're part of me. I know you don't want to let that happen any more than I do.
Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan?
If the think tank won't hold up their bargain, we'll make them. Let's go.
Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
Now we have our brain. And we also can talk with Mobius a bit more.
Oh, I see you and your brain reached a compromise. How pleasant. I hypothesized after the indignant frequencies my receptors had recepted, such a partnership-based conclusion would be low on the likely scale.
Can I have a mentat? My brain told me the think tank needs to be stopped. Can you help?
If I recall, I had a plan that was working, whatever it was. I don't think it reached fruition. I would recall fruit if it had happened. I wasn't trying to kill them, just keep them out of trouble. What was that plan? Blast. I probably wrote it down on the floor somewhere.
Yeah. What was that plan you had?
Something ingenious and needlessly complicated, I expect. I may have already told you and forgotten it. I forgot I had forgotten pencils until one day I found one. Spent days studying its purpose before my memory circuit kicked in. Felt quite silly.
And, anything I could do to stop them that doesn't require violence?
Well, you could try and appeal to their humanity. That's a tired cliche. And really, when they were humans, they weren't very good humans.
I'd like to make the effort.
Well, there's many things they have forgotten, sitting in their bowls. Friendship, the thrill of discovery. Love, masturbation, the usual. Much like your brain, I am certain there is something you can spark within each of them. Memories, hormones. A wise man once said, "The eyes do more than see. Make them see, if you can. Or, if not, you can always make them succumb to fear." It certainly worked for me, for a time. Then you came along, and bravery and/or desperation trumped that little idea. Back to the drawing board, I suppose. Or is this the end? Hard to tell.
And scare them? How?
Oh, tell them I'm still alive. We had a nice chat, and we agree on a few things. That's true, isn't it? Or you could kill me and lie about it. Either way, it would be interesting. And if you are partial to lying and deception, well, you could tell them a ludicrous lie. The more over the top, the better. That's my experience. They're more than a little gullible. Better make it convincing, though, or it'll be the dissection table and vivisectors for you. And if you speak of me, please try and make me look good. I am Dr. Mobius, after all, not some lab assistant teacher's aide.
Alright, I'll see you later. Thanks for the advice. And look at that, we got some nice ammo boxes. In case we wanted to take on the think tank and needed a resupply. And the interesting stuff up here is not in this room. As much as we'd like it to be. No, the interesting stuff is in this room. Yes, tons of mentats. Look at all these mentats. So many mentats. We are going to be the drug dealer of the Mojave. Tons and tons of mentats. And then, of course, one psycho, because we paid attention to his dialogue. I do not feel the need to go over the intricacies of the story of Old World Blues, considering we listen to all the dialogue. You can all come to your own conclusions, but I just think it's a very nice story. I like how it all came together. Thank you, Car Alarm. I really appreciate that. Yep, there we go. And I think there's not too much interesting. Another Lear. More mentats. Tons of energy weapon ammo. The energy weapons build. Hundreds of hours from now. I'm gonna... when I get to that. Because I feel like if I were going to do a follow-up playthrough to this, which I'm definitely not, but if I was going to do it, I would do Melee Legion next. So energy weapons house would have to wait a very long time, as I am nothing if not thorough. And we'll take the cup. We'll see. I think Muggy gives Wonder Glue as well. So yep, now we will head back to the think tank for even more dialogue. Tons of long dialogue heavy episodes in the Old World. And there's the Robo-Scorpion shut down, and there's me falling. We used science. It would be a shame to destroy the Robo-Scorpion. Though if I had the ammo, we might be living in a different world. And oh, we know what I did up here. Let's check this place out. What's up here? Power regulation. Ah, yes. There are. Yeah, we'll take another cup. If Muggy doesn't give Wonder Glue, I'm gonna be embarrassed. You know what? I'll do that off screen though. We're gonna finish up this DLC, and then I'm gonna do some off-screen maintenance as well. I wonder if the Robo-Scorpion is still there. No, of course not. Thank you, Mobius. I guess we'll do the sink balcony. Yes, that is what we want to do. We want to go back to the sink balcony. So we can put our original parts back in us. Oh, here you go, Muggy.
Oh, please, please!
Here, take them.
Oh, sweet, sweet fulfillment! I'll break these down for you just
The episode's going so over and I'm doing this bullshit. Yeah, there we go. There's Wonder Glues. Okay. And we still don't have the brain. You know what? We'll satisfactorily put them all back in at the same time. Now to the think tank.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
I found my brain. Now you and I are gonna settle things.
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
I'm not handing my brain over. There's some things we should discuss.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
And, we're gonna go with the good, I think, best ending. Maybe you should confer with your, colleagues first.
Nonsense. Confer, colleagues. Those are two words I do not recognize.
Dr. Klein, I must intersect. Please, do not harm the lobotomite.
I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to dissect it until it's dead. Why the sudden intersection, Dalla?
I cannot stand a sweet breathing organism breathing in and out to suddenly not breathe. We must keep it alive. For study. Slow study.
Dalla, these vocalized pauses are unlike you. What do you care?
Klein, you know, this lobotomite, it's a great sounding board. You respect ideology, right? This one's, well, it's got good ideas.
Silence, Dr. O. This is a think tank decision. Save your objections until after I have decided our course of action.
You know what, Klein? Stick a straw in your tank and suck yourself. Long and deep. And my name is Zero. Yeah, a big, fat zero with a slash through it.
The slash as a designator. Why, that is brilliant. But how did you...
The lobotomite taught me that. Taught me a name is more than, that I should take pride in things like names. And you know what? Forget it, Klein. I hate you. And your theory of brachial beam oscillation? The Chinese had it first, you copycat.
How dare you? Brachial beam oscillation was solely my discovery. I expressly told you that and deleted all evidence to the contrary. It's 2-8. Why are you acting like this? You've never refused to commit necessary surgery before. And this lobotomite needs its surgery. A noble speech, but there's no room in my vocabulators for friend and lobotomite in the same sentence. The very concept, revolting. Perhaps you are irradiated with camaraderie radiation. We have chems for that. We can save you from your emotional addiction. If I may, I feel as if I must be the voice of reason here. This lobotomite is much like us. Regarding even animals and pets as nothing more than avenues to promote science. There is good here. Instead of ending its life on the table, we should prolong its suffering in the name of science. Like good old Gabe, the finest of lab specimens. Why am I even listening to you fools? Enough of this mutinous chorus. If there's a word I hate, it's mutiny. And the word jism, which never made any sense to me. It's ridiculous putting j and zm together like that. Nonsense! I count as 5. Like the mighty human hand I once had, with its 5 penises clenched in a fist.
Sounds to me like your math is wrong and the odds aren't good.
Nonsense! The mathematics of this situation are on our side, lobotomite. I believe... No, wait. Carry the 2, then... If this were a democracy, I would be concerned. We are too scientific for that. So just surrender.
It's not a democracy, it's a research facility. And over half your colleagues dispute your findings.
You dare use logic against me?
I do. Here's the deal. I'm not going to surrender. You are.
That's no deal at all. There's a whole world beyond the crater, filled with ideas and possibilities. We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it, prodded at it, made it squirm.
You can still do that. Here. Quietly. For me.
For you? And for science? I have a strange sensation that I would like that. How odd. Very well, partner. The think tank is at your service as long as you do not destroy us.
And there we go. We resolved the conflict, and it's time to leave the think tank.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others. Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The Sync Central Intelligence Unit was impressed by the amount of exploration the courier had undertaken. Facilities believed lost, destroyed, or ones that had simply gotten up and walked to new locations had been rediscovered by its intrepid new master. Internally, the artificial personality debated as to whether it preferred the old management to the new, and concluded that the courier's thorough approach to research and investigation was admirable and worthy of its respect.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The Sync atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The biological research station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The Sync continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names once too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic, dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it, without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ, and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside. They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond, although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier, and if anyone would shape it, well, the courier had already called dibs.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, Old World Blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The Sync sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone. Huzzah, sir! Huzzah! Huzzah, sir!
And that's Old World Blues. What a 10 out of 10 DLC. I really enjoyed
I
it.
trust matters regarding your brain were resolved to your satisfaction.
And let's put the rest of our body parts back in. New World Hope. I didn't even realize. I'll just keep it on a positive note. Place my heart back in my chest. All my organs return to me. And this episode has been long. Lots of great dialogue. And I hope you enjoyed it as we head back to the Mojave. As we're still on the road to New Vegas. This has been Old World Blues in the Fallout Perfect playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.